morning, beautiful people. Welcome to yet another episode of the Younib Breakfast Show with me, Peninah, Wachera. I hope you guys have woken up well and are excited to face your day. So today's morning affirmation is, I always know how to find time to relax. You know, most of us, we find ourselves working day after day. So it's important for you to actually get time to rest. Rest, relax, unwind. It's really, really important. So today what we are telling ourselves is, I always know how to find time to relax. So find time to relax. As it is the norm here at the Younib Breakfast Show, let's go straight to the morning bite of the day. Yes, today we're going to be speaking about redefining masculinity. We've been hearing about toxic masculinity. We've been hearing of people getting to know more about masculinity. But today we are here to know the right type of masculinity. What is the right type of masculinity? Badala the toxic ones and everything. And to help us be able to tackle this conversation is our guest here, who I want him to introduce himself. Can you look at the camera and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Brian Langry, and I'm really excited for today's topic. We're going to discuss about masculinity. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, karibu sana. Please feel at home.
Asante.
Yeah, so guys, mmeshasikia by the base, yeah? We're here to just learn about masculinity. And masculinity can be good. It doesn't have to be toxic. And today that's our conversation of the day, yeah? So to start us off, what does masculinity mean to you?
Probably if I define it the way I've been viewing it, I can say masculinity is all about how the male species, maybe tukisema mwanaume, is supposed to behave, the roles which are attributed to the male person, and other things that pertain to being male. Yeah, zile vitu zenye zinaonyesha wewe ni mwanaume and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so in your definition, I've heard you speaking about roles. So how do society, because I know society and roles, they work hand in hand, because most of the time, once we talk about the roles of men, the roles of women, it is definitely from a society, right? So how does the societal expectations really shape the way men really perceive themselves?
Now, when you come to societal expectations, there's some sort of difference. There kuna the way we view it traditionally and the way we view it in these modern times.
Yeah.
So maybe tuseme tumetoka place wako hawajapatana na watu sana. The cultures have not interacted so much. Utapata the more they tend to think is very different from person ame interact na different cultures. So for example, tunaweza sema someone who is very bado wanna believe in that traditional perspective of doing things.
Yeah.
Maybe unapata wanasema women are supposed to be doing this. Hii ni kazi ya mwanamke, mimi siwezi fanya. Mbona nifanye hii na kuna mwanamke kwa nyumba and all that stuff. But sasa tukikuja in a place where the cultures and societies intermix, unapata someone is a bit anaweza fanya vitu zingine zenye traditionally they are not meant for men. Yeah.
Okay, since we're speaking about the traditional and the modern type of masculinity, I'd like to know, what are the myths that masculinity comes with?
A million myths are running through my mind, but nitasema tu zile zimekam. So myth ya kwanza tunaweza sema mwanaume hafai kuonyesha vulnerability. You're not supposed to show it. Like we feel traditionally we feel like kuna watu, there are some people who are looking up to us. Yeah. So ukionyesha that vulnerability, watakuona like this is a weak person, I shouldn't be foiling this person.
Yeah.
Kuna vitu kama hizo. And then there are things that men are not supposed to do. Men are not supposed to be in the kitchen and all that stuff, and yet you have chefs wenye wana spin kuliko hata wanawake.
True. Yeah.
And then kuna zingine, but I can't say, siwezi sema zote, but at the top of the dome hizo ndo naweza mention saizi.
Okay, when you talk about vulnerability, and I keep on saying here at the Younib Breakfast Show, like everyone was given emotions so that they can be able to show their emotions, yeah? Even them, okay, if men could not have tears, then we could have said they're not supposed to cry. Simple. But no, they have the tears, they should cry. They are normal human beings. And I'm telling you, most of the men tend to hide their emotions. Wanasema they can't cry in front of the ladies, they cannot cry in front of other men, they cannot even speak to other men when it comes to maybe opening up. But this is a random question from my dear. Okay, so what is your take when it comes to therapy? And men, yeah.
Therapy ya nini in particular?
Like mental health.
Mental health.
Therapy, yeah.
Inasaidia sometimes, but you need to know where you seek your therapy. Unaweza enda kwa kuseek therapy from friends, end up vibaya kuliko hata vile ulienda ukiwa huko. So you need to know where you're going to seek the therapy. I'm not against it. I'm just like, you should know where you're going to get it.
Will you go to a specialist, that is a psychologist, to help you out?
I wouldn't know. Siwezi jua until it hit me, until ifike hiyo time. Yeah, but if there's need for it, man, mbona, why not? Yeah.
You know why I've asked that question? It's because I've asked so many men about it, and all of them are saying, no, why should I go for therapy? Why? But why not? It's about time. Therapy is not only for the women. It's there to help you out and to make you a better person. So if you're a man out there and you feel like you can't do therapy and yet you have issues that you're facing, please ensure that you go seek professional advice. Remember that friends cannot always give you the answers, but you can be able to get answers or get help through therapists. Yeah, there's something you wanted to add.
Yeah, unajua, the problem is, I believe most men don't like to show that they are vulnerable and that stuff. Na ikimaanisha unataka kwenda therapy, inamaanisha you have to show that you're vulnerable to someone or to something. So that is where the problem comes, because I believe the traditional masculinity ina niningi. Most of it inakwaga how a man is viewed and the strength.
Yeah.
Na ukionyesha vulnerability inamaanisha hauna nguvu and all that stuff. Yeah.
But I tend to say just that we are in the modern times, yeah? And all of us, tuseme kitambo, it was just so bad for the men, honestly speaking, and also for the women, I can say, but we have evolved as a culture, and we are now in a place where we should now feel very present and very intentional with who we are. And even men, it's not for the ladies alone, yeah? You can also start trying to do therapy to take care of yourself. Also, people wanakatanga skincare as men. It's about time that you guys try these things, yeah? Because it doesn't have to be that you're going to do the women's skincare routines. You have your own, and it makes you guys feel better. But anyway, remember you can interact with us through our social media platform, Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719 144 144. Yeah. So let's continue the conversation. Okay, so how has the traditional definition of masculinity affected men's mental health and emotional well-being?
Wow. I feel, unajua, there are people who are saying that the breed of men wenye wanazaliwa saizi are very weak. Sijui nani amesema hivyo, but nimesikia tu ikisemwa mahali, kwani sisi ni wanawake, kind of thing. Yeah. So ukiangalia traditionally, men are supposed to have strength. Unafaa kuonyesha strength at all times. Hufai kuonyesha machozi anywhere in front of men. Unafaa kwenda kwa room mahali peke yako, unapiga nduru, and then unarudi strong and all that stuff. So inafanya wanaume wanashikilia a lot of things ndani, and these things end up building up until uko in a certain position you can't control them anymore, you end up into depression, hizo ugonjwa za mawazo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And sadly tunakupoteza tu juu hauko unaongea na watu. You're not being open about how you feel. You're not being vulnerable to other people who are close to you and you know they can help you. Yeah, and una end up tu unakufa peke yako and all that stuff. Yeah, so traditionally kuna vitu tunafaa kubadilisha, but hizo vitu zile hatuwezi kubadilisha, tunafaa kuangalia vile tunaweza twist tu kidogo.
Equal a better form of manhood, yeah?
Yeah.
So, guys, I hope you're following up with this conversation. We have spoken about the traditional and definitely lazima tuongelele the modern type of masculinity. So, do you think that modern society allows men to express their emotions more openly? If so, how? And if not, what needs to change?
Yeah, naweza sema yes and no. Yes, because unaona saizi there are spaces for men to express their feeling. This is a safe place, space. And then no, because unajua we are learning from people who are looking at masculinity the traditional way. So probably hapo ndo pali problem inatokea, where you are as a man, that's a phrase, as a man you're not supposed to do this, as a man you're supposed to do this. Yeah, hizo vitu zote.
So I think do you think that we need to do some changes now in what already is happening when it comes to masculinity and people just allowing men to be vulnerable?
So yeah, obviously there are some changes need to be done. Tunafaa kuonyesha wanaume why they need to speak up, they need to become vulnerable to the right people. Yeah, at the end of the day ni about your mental health. Yeah, this thing will come and haunt you later. So these things zinakuja kukuhaunt later and you end up being sick because hauko unataka kuziongelelea. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. And I feel like anyway, we need a shift. We need to reach in a position where we can sit down and just understand that all of us need to really express ourselves, yeah? Like, kitambo ungepata mwanaume anaambiwa sasa for you to be able to become kuitwa mwanaume, you have to go maybe catch a lion or bring, according to different cultures out there, yeah? So I think vituka hizo, for example, why should you torment somebody to go and catch a lion and just bring whiskers? Like, we need to just change whatever was happening and make it in a modern day in a way that will help men be vulnerable, men to talk, to open up and actually talk about their difficulties. Yeah, let me advocate for men, guys. I love speaking about the other gender, because many people say that women have been empowered more than men. But I tend to differ, because it's just that men don't want to understand the modern day women. And it's because of that they just want to cling on what traditionally they were taught, instead of trying and opening their mind in matters now. How can we be as modern men? And by that, if you become a modern man and living with a modern woman, there's no problem. You won't find an issue. Anyway, what do you think about that? Tell us through our social media platforms, yeah? I want us to talk about now ways that gender role shifting has been able to evolve, and how men adapting to these changes. The role shifting of roles, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there are some roles that traditionally were viewed as these are roles for women and these are roles for men. So like, for example, staying at home as the man goes to work, there are some sort of separation of roles there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the way you said men are supposed to go to hunt for lions and bring the whiskers and all that stuff. So right now, I'm seeing a shift whereby we have stay-at-home dads. But for me, I will say, like, although we are staying at home, there are staying-at-home dads. You need to be doing something at home. It's not like you're doing it like the stay-at-home mom, whereby you're staying at home and just taking care of the babies. I believe you should be staying at home doing something, maybe remote work and all that stuff. Yeah, and then when you go to like the workplace where there are some jobs that are viewed for men, women,
Yeah.
they say what men can do, women can do better.
Better. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know how true that is. I'm not disputing that fact in any way whatsoever.
Okay.
But there are some roles that are shifting for women, and I see women are doing them much better because they are doing them from an emotional point of view, where they get to wanajishikanisha na vitu wanafanya, and they are so very passionate about it,
Yeah.
more than the way men are doing it. Yeah. So that's my take on that.
Okay, so guys, we are still having conversation when it comes to masculinity, yeah, and we are here to talk about redefining masculinity. We've been hearing a lot about the men. Many people complaining, others saying, "Oh, men now should not be vulnerable." And today we are here to just talk about that conversation. I want us to take this short break, and we'll be back with more. Welcome back. This is still the Uni Breakfast Show with me, Peninah Wachera, and my guest here. And today we're speaking about redefining masculinity. Remember, you can always interact with us through our social media platforms, Unib_TV on Instagram, Unib Media TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719 144 144. Tell us your thoughts when it comes to this conversation, yeah? So when we started, we kept on saying toxic masculinity and all that. So my next question is all about that. So how does toxic masculinity really manifest in everyday life? And what can men do to stop it?
Toxic masculinity ni, I believe, the bad side of being masculine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So how it
Manifests.
manifests in people, maybe through aggression. Maybe you can find someone being so misogynistic, whereby they tend to dislike the opposite gender. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, being violent, and all that stuff. So I believe the way we can help this is you just seek help. Maybe if you're in such a situation where you're being violent, you're being aggressive, you need to understand that this is a problem, and maybe you go and seek professional help. And if you can't seek the professional help, maybe you talk to people. Yeah.
Sorry.
Or maybe you try to understand how people reason so that you can stop being aggressive, because it doesn't help. Yeah.
Okay, so but don't you think that some of the men do this unknowingly, maybe not knowing that this is a problem. Like, for example, our cultural or our traditional ways, men could be able to beat the ladies because that was a sign for them that I am the leader of the house. You should respect me. If you disrespect me, then I'll beat you. That's what I have grown knowing. So how do we expect such a man to know that, okay, this is a problem? And they can't go maybe talk to other men about it, because for them it will be at a egoistic point of view. When they say, okay, I beat my woman, that's normal for me. That's our culture, you know. So what can we say about that?
First of all, I believe before someone takes such a drastic step, they will have always thought about it. Yeah, it's not something that comes on the fly, like just like that. So first of all, they need to understand that these days women are protected by the law, so they have the right to go and report you that you're to report the domestic violence. So you might end up in jail for doing such, and maybe probably the money that you could have used to go for professional help, you'll end up fighting legal battles. And I believe me, there are a lot of people who support women. The woman will always be right in the eyes of the people before you can say anything, even if it's the woman who started it. The woman will always be right. So before taking any step, you just have to think about it first before you take any drastic measures. And if it is beyond your control, it is something, how do you call it? Ni kitu yenye iko psychology or something. I believe they call it something of the sort. Yeah, it's something to do with your psychology. You just have to go and seek professional help.
So if you're a man out there and you are always thinking of beating ladies out there, because I've seen people actually face to face. I used to hear it like, okay, this person is violent to the ladies or nini nini, but there's still men out there who are willing and ready to actually just fight with the ladies without any cause of alarm. So if you're a man out there and you find yourself with such behaviors, it's good for you to just ensure that you seek help, because that's not right. And actually, for the women out there who maybe have gone through abuse, it's good for you to go and report it, because that's not right. It's not something that should continue, because if this man keeps on abusing you, what are the probabilities that he will go to another person or another lady to abuse them? So it's about time that you speak out. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, if you are a woman who is in such a case and you don't speak out, you're actually motivating him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't speak about it, he knows he's right, and this is a while back we were talking about women empowerment and stuff.
Yeah.
So if no one comes out and speaks about this, you actually motivating the person, and they will never know that it is something to do with their psychology. Yeah, and they will continue doing it, and you'll keep categorizing men in that bracket as
toxic.
Men are toxic and all that stuff, and yet it's your man who is toxic.
Yeah, only. Yeah, so please, if you're out there and you're going through abuse, it's important for you to go out, seek help from police. You can just go and explain to them what really happens to you, and they will be able to help you. Usikufe ukiwa ndani ya relationship or in a marriage simply because you love this person to the extent that if they abuse you, you still feel like staying there. That's not love. It is actually, it's not even right. Yeah. It's a problem that needs to be sorted. Sawa sawa. Okay, so we have known men as strength. Any place where you hear masculinity, you actually have now the idea of a strong woman, a strong man. Sorry. So how can men? So how can men really balance their strength and also be able to be vulnerable?
Yeah, we first need to understand that we are all human beings, and at the end of the day, the only difference between me and a woman is maybe something on the physical part, something that you can see, but emotionally, we all have to understand that we can be vulnerable, and it is okay to ask for help. Yeah, it is, si mzuri kukufa peke yako. It is okay to go and ask for help. We need to identify, to understand that this is a problem that imenipata, so I need to go and ask for help. Si lazima ukwe your strength unaionyesha hadi to the part of the emotions. If you feel like this thing, hii kitu itakuja kuniumiza at the end, enda tafuta help, seek professional help. And I'll say it again, seek professional help. Si mbaya, hata kama unaona hauwezi enda kuomba directly to a therapist, go to a friend. Maybe don't attack the situation directly. You just go around unaongea stories zingine, but at the end then unakuja in that with that your problem, but in the form of a story. I'm sure even if it is someone that you joke a lot with, atend up amekusaidia and utabaki umeshinda the situation instead of dying out alone. That's if you can't talk about your vulnerabilities, your insecurities openly. You just have to find a way to go around it, but ongelea hiyo stuff. Yeah.
The ones for, I have a friend who is going through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also a way also of getting to understand your problems. Yeah. So what we all grow up, and definitely there are some of the things that we carry on with it. So how does, or what role does cultural or the culture and upbringing really play in shaping a man's view of masculinity?
Actually, I believe it plays quite a big part in the masculinity nature of being a man. One thing is that we grow up with traditions that says men are not supposed to go to the kitchen, men are not supposed to be caring for babies, men are supposed to be providing and all that stuff. And then you have in your home, you have the picture of your father who traditionally does what men are supposed to do traditionally.
Yeah.
So I believe it plays quite a big part, but it's upon us now, I believe, the new generation, to realize that we are intermingling with a lot of cultures, and we have to filter out what we feel is good and take in what we feel is not filter what we feel is good, sorry,
What is bad.
what is bad, and then take in what is good. Yeah, what will help me and help the person next to me. I wouldn't be infringing on maybe the roles of another person, maybe the emotions of another person. Let's say I'm married to someone. It's okay for me to go and wash the dishes when she's busy doing something else. It's okay for me to take care of the child because tulimzaa sisi wote wawili and all that stuff. Yeah, it's okay for me to stay at home if kama hakuna kitu naweza fanya huko nje that will bring italeta harmony between us. Yeah. It's equal to do all these things. We need to understand that these roles are shifting. Yeah, and we also need to change with modern times, to see back in the older traditional ways, even if they are hurting us. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I hope you all are following up and are getting to understand more about redefining masculinity. Yeah, these are conversations that people hardly talk about. Most people will only think or consider about the toxic side of masculinity. But what are we doing as a culture to help be able to make masculinity be known in different ways? Yeah. So to my next question, how does media, because most of the time we are told, actually, even our own grandparents, they tell us that, okay, these are just things that you've watched through the movies, these are things that you guys are learning, these are things zenye zililetwa na mzungu, because those are the exact words that we hear from other people. So how does media, movies, and social media platforms really contribute to stereotypes about what it means to be a real man?
Yeah, we are talking about a real man. What is a real man, by the way? I believe this thing of social media, the television, the Twitters, the Instagrams themselves, they are just different people from different cultures, just showing out their cultures and how they feel a man should be, I believe it's upon myself to know what a real man should do. I believe being a real man involves being able to take, if I'm in a relationship, I'm able to take care of my family. Yeah, I'm able to make them feel that they are loved. None of their right is infringed, because we see that women, mostly these days, there is this thing of women empowerment. They empowered the woman, but the man was left behind. So we also need to find a way to adapt so that there will not be conflicts between us. Yeah.
Okay. So I hope you guys are learning and are getting to understand more. So do you think that what we're speaking about is really important, something that needs to be a conversation to just continue? Or do you think that men will always be toxic? Please let us know through our social media platform, Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719 144 144. For now, I want us to take this short break, and we'll be back with more. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the Younib Breakfast Show, and today we are all about the men out there. Yeah, recently it was Boyfriend's Day, by the way, and most people don't remember that. They only remember about the girl child, yeah, the girlfriend's day. Yeah, it's about time that we, even if you're a woman out there, treat your man. Hadi yeye mwenyewe anashanga what is not happening, yeah. But it's good to always ensure that you treat your men well. Feel the love also. If you want love to be given to you, it's good also for you to reciprocate it. Yeah. Anyway, back to our conversation. Yeah. So how can men really support each other in redefining masculinity in a way that is more inclusive and emotionally healthy?
What I can say maybe is that we as men tunafaa to come out and we show the world these stereotypes about being toxic men. We just show the world about these stereotypes. Tunasema this we don't want to do and this we want to do. So it is upon us men tukuje tushikane tuseme, man, hizi ni vitu hatufanyi tena, hatutaki kufanya hivi and all that stuff. And I believe with time tutakuwa better. And then another thing, maybe the last one, ni we need to create safe spaces for men. Pali msa anaweza jiexpress tu vizuri. Pali unaingia unasema this is a safe space. Unasema hi, I'm somebody. My name is this. And all that stuff. Unajiexpress tu, unatoa nini yako yote bila judgment. Yeah, ati maybe mse atakuongea mse anakuwa emotional sana, hatufai kumweka kwa plans zetu and whatever and all that stuff. we need to clear those spaces pale mwanaume atajiexpress tu vizuri. Yeah.
So it can be good if also you guys yourselves, yeah, create that safe space. For example, you see, for people like us ladies, utapata tu umepigia, if something goes wrong, you'll just call that one person mwenye unajua this person ako na kelele yangu yote. I will piga kelele, nitafanya all the things, I can cry, and naye atakuja the following time we'll just be laughing around. So sometimes it's good to just have that one person, even though it's your closest friend, yeah, even as men, yeah, because that is what we women do. Utapata a girl is mostly ameenda akapigiwa kelele na a guy, ama akapata something that inconvenienced them. There's that one person anajua atampigia apige kelele, apige, and still that person will just not judge them. And I feel like for the male now, that is so hard to find.
Actually, I'm thinking of a situation where we can just have like, since unaonaga kuongea na mwanaume mwenzako about your vulnerabilities inakuwa very hard, we just have a situation where you just meet random people. You tell them your problem, they tell you their problems, you try to help each other, and after that you forget about each other. Hamjoani, mnajuliana tu hapo, mnamaliza shida zenyu hapo, mnaenda home, hamtaiongelea, and utaenda home without the fear of somebody, mtu kuongelea shida zako. Maybe mkipatana mtu mahali akikuona anaona shida zako and all that stuff. Something like men for men. Yeah.
That's a good initiative. Anyway, we can start a Men for Men. Umesikia hapa kwenye Younib Breakfast Show, yeah? And we hope that you will start that, yeah? And at least the next day we'll be coming here and saying that the Men for Men initiative has helped quite a number of men. And these people now are living emotionally healthy, yeah? Yeah, looking forward to that. It's a good idea, by the way. Yeah? And please, men out there, please adopt that idea so that you feel you have to stay with your own troubles alone, yeah? We are here to help each other, yeah? And we all need the men. As much as people will pretend that the men are not needed, they are needed in our society. So it's important because some of us will not stand up kuweka bulb. We need the men who kutufanyia the handiwork, yeah? So it's important to actually make sure that they're also emotionally well. Okay, so how can parents and educators really teach young boys a healthier, more inclusive version of masculinity?
Just like I said before, it all boils down to cultures and traditions. So I believe the best thing will be like parents and teachers, they come together. They think of a singular story, maybe singular teaching to be able to give these children when they are growing up. Because tukiwa na mwalimu anafunza something different at school, and then ukienda nyumbani unaona a different narrative, ita confuse mtoto.
Yeah.
Na atatend kufuata yule mtu ana interact naye most of the time, na maybe ana feel safe. Yeah, so parents and teachers, maybe they need to come together to be able to educate their children what is right and what is wrong. Now wana consider the modern times. Yeah, si ati this is our tradition, we must follow this. And then ukienda mahali nje unapatana maybe na a person from a different culture, maybe amekuwa modernized in a good way, anafikiria differently, and then maybe kutakuwa na coalition hapo. Yeah, so parents na teachers wanakuja pamoja, they think of a singular narrative to teach the children as they grow up, and they keep to that. Yeah, I believe that will help.
Okay. So when you were mentioning that, I remembered something of an initiative that has been happening in the Catholic Church. I think it's in the Catholic Church, mostly our parish, yeah? We've been seeing men specifically trying to mentor the children, the young men. So you'll find them, they're called beacon boys. Yeah,
beacon boys.
The beacon boys. And you'll find that the men will have time, go sit down with the smaller children, the boy child, and speak about what is happening about the men, and try to build a men who are now better and more stronger. So I think that is a good initiative actually, and people should also try now in levels of school. You can have even men men mentors coming to school and trying to talk about these things, not only on specifically at how men should handle themselves, but about general life knowledge when it comes to manhood. And I think that will make the change. So we are also showing you ways that you can be able to teach mostly about the gender or the male to be able to live with the female. And this can be quite good initiatives that will be able to make a difference, to make masculinity the narrative of toxic masculinity change, because so many people have it in their mind. So these are the ways that we can be able to make things happen, or to change things when it comes to redefining masculinity. So I'd like you to look at the camera and just give your parting shot on this conversation. Like, what should people take away when you just anything from the time we started speaking?
Wow.
What should they take away from this conversation?
I believe the audience will be meant. Something.
Okay, all of us are listening.
All of us are listening, though.
Yeah.
But I just have had something for the men.
Okay.
It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to ask for help. We are all human beings, and at some point we might reach our lows and we need help. Sisi si wanyama, hata wanyama wanasaidiana sometimes. So if you feel like something is beyond your control, don't be afraid to talk about it. If you can't go to friends, go to professionals. And if you can't go to professionals, just try to search for someone, maybe random stranger. Tell them your problem. I know some people will listen, maybe some might not, but usinyamazie shida zako. Kukua masculine, it's not about hurting yourself so that others can be pleased. It's not about showing the physical strength na yet ndani unaumia. Talk about it.
Yeah, you've mentioned about talking about your problems, and I remember a friend of mine commenting that she had gone to the matatu and the guy who was next to her just started speaking randomly, telling her the problems that he has, what is going on. I'm sure that person went at home feeling much better.
Yeah, much better.
Even though my friend didn't have anything to say, because she was like, hey, this is a lot of challenges.
Yeah, no, by the way, hata ikiwa ni someone comes to you and talks about it, just listen. Si lazima ukuwe na something constructive to tell him, but the fact that he has let out what he had in his heart and in mind, manze, there's some sort of baggage that una feeling. It's gone, imetoka,
So it's about time that we also help the men to be able to know or to be more vulnerable. So it's good also for us women out there. It's good to support your man. If they feel like talking about what they feel is emotionally draining to them, give them the listening ear. You don't have to just say anything. Just listen to them. Look at them as they speak, and it will go a long way. And that is how we can be able to redefine masculinity for the men also, by giving them a listening ear, by helping them even when they need our help. Because sometimes a man cannot tell you, I need this help. It's good for you to just say, okay, let me just help you out. And it's awesome seeing that even in our own parents, mostly our parents' marriage, you could have seen, even though it's the mom who was giving out the money, they will say, go tell your dad. And even though it was the mom who will give you the money, give the husband the money a little bit chini ya maji, but it will show that they are showing the respect, and they are showing the man that yes, you're there because you are the owner of the house, or the main person of the house. So these are good things that can still continue. And we need to change the narrative about toxic masculinity. Yes, it's there. So if you're also suffering out there, it's important for you to speak out. But also, they are good men. They are men who are ready to actually be vulnerable. They are ready to actually change the narrative and make themselves better. There are some who they know, yes, I'm toxic, but I'm ready to do the work. So this conversation is here to help you out, to see that it is important that you can be able to speak out your issues, to be able to also change who you are and make you a better person. So thank you so much for this conversation. It's been awesome. I've really enjoyed.
I've also enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And thank you for actually helping us understand more about the masculine gender. Because all of us, most times I've been bringing a lot of women here. It's good to actually know the challenges that you guys have been going through and what we can be able to do to help.
I believe the men feel represented today.
Exactly. Yeah, today I'm actually on set as the only lady. So today was a man's affair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that we've been able to speak about the boy child, because most people will always try and hide these conversations. They will always try and not give the full information about these conversations. But we are here to make sure that we get the whole truth. It's only on Uni Breakfast Show where you can get to learn all this. Remember, you can always interact with us, and don't forget to use the hashtag Uni Breakfast Show with Peninah Wachera, so that you can be able to continue interacting at length. Yeah. So thank you so much for everyone who has made this show a success. Thank you so much to our director Elias Mushina, and also to the cameramen Elias and Peter Mureithi, who have made this show a success. Yeah. And to you, our viewers, thank you so much for being there, for always ensuring that you suggest topics. I remember there's a time I went to church and somebody came and told me, I have a topic that you guys can be able to discuss. So it's because of you guys that I get the excitement to actually sit in front of you and bring this conversation. And definitely, I will be bringing the conversations that you guys suggest, so that we can be able to grow together and be able to tackle life difficulties together. Yeah. So until next time, do have a beautiful day ahead. Goodbye.
Bye.